So the next property I want to work on is color. And so I have my Monsilk soil color chart here. And the easiest thing, I often take the pages out and use them to look at the horizon. So the first horizon, you're actually supposed to take and do a rubbed color. So let me rub this one a little bit here for a color. And then I'm going to hold it up behind these holes behind the book here. So it is not overly dark. It's definitely not one of these bottom rows. I think, I have to make a choice here. Do I think it's 3-3 or more like 4-3? I don't know that I like 4-2. There's a lot of these I don't really love. But I think I'm going to go with 10YR 3-2 for the first horizon. Put that here in my color box. 10YR 3/2. So 10YR is the hue, value 3, chroma 2. Now the rest of these I can just take a pad and hold it up behind my book. So I'm going to go with, okay, is it still 3-2? I don't think so. I think it's the 10YR 4-2, 4-3. I kind of like 10YR 4-2 a little better. So I'll choose there, 10YR 4-2. Third horizon. Grab a fresh pad here, break it open. And now on this horizon, I can actually see I've got a lot of different colors going on. This one's going to be a bit of a challenge. So I'm seeing some orange colored redoxamorphic features, and I'm seeing a bunch of shiny clay films as well. So I think I've got it sort of chosen which one I want to go with for my matrix color. So matrix is the dominant color, not the splotches. Okay, I kind of like 10YR 4-3 pretty well. I think I'll stick with that. Now the one thing you can do is check a different page in the book. So in this case, I think maybe trying one redder page would be worthwhile to just look at. Find a good piece again here. All right. So do I like 7.5YR 4-3? I think I prefer the 10YR 4-3, so I'll leave it with that. And that's usually about how rapidly I choose color. I don't want to agonize over it. I want to pick a color and move on. And I notice that I'm not wetting any of these up. I'm pretty happy with the, and that's a rock right there. So that's a big old piece of limestone right there. I might just chuck that out in my driveway. I don't really need that one. But this is also a very multicolored horizon. So I think I'm going to go with one of these, with this color here on the inside of the pad. So pick my 10YR page back up. See if I like anything here. Let's see. You know, I'm not loving anything, so I'm actually going to check one page back in the book, 2.5Y. It's a little bit yellower of a page. See if there's anything here I really like. Okay, I kind of like, yep, I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with a 10Y or 2.5Y 5-4 on this horizon. 2.5Y 5-4. And then the last horizon, this weathered, really weathered bedrock, which would be Permian age something. So whether you call this a, I mean, I think it's mostly a shale, but it could be sort of a mudstone. Let's see what color we have here. That's 10YR 5-4 is what I chose for the last one. Let's see. So do I think it's more the, oh boy, I think there are a couple different colors in there. I think I'm going to go with 10YR 5-4 for 2.5Y 5-4 again. 2.5Y 5-4 as the color again. So now the next thing I want to do before I move on at all would be to think about my redoxamorphic features. So the first horizon, I definitely have none. I've looked at it and thought about it, and I see nothing. So that's nice. I get a freebie there. I get to dash that box. The second horizon, I think there could be, let's see, I want to get a bigger piece here. And I almost always try to do redox in the pit so I can make sure I get plenty of pieces to look at. I do actually see some iron manganese stains. So there are these blacker spots here. So I'm going to say that I have maybe, I'm going to go with 2%. I'm going to say FM, I'm going to say iron masses. I'm going to write that out because I don't know the abbreviation for right now. So I'm going to say iron manganese masses there. So they're not hard nodules that I'm seeing, but just more softer, a little softer masses. Now, they pick up big time in this horizon. So this horizon, the third one, has these iron manganese, and it also has concentrations as well. So really good amounts of the red redox here. So I'm probably going to say 5% at least of these F3M, so they're oxidized. And now I want to pick a color for those. So with redox features, there's several things you can do. You can pick the percentage, you can do the size, the contrast, the hardness, the shape. And so my thing I always do the percent, and I always try to get a color because I want to keep that for the record. So, okay, I got to get a spot picked out where I see a good one here. All right. So I'm going to say 4.6, 10YR 4.6 for the color. Okay, so 4.6 versus 4.3. I'm going to say that would make the criteria for distinct for the models there. And again, that has plenty of the red ones as well, or the black masses as well. So I might go also 5% with the FMM, so with the iron manganese with the masses there. Okay, so this horizon, the fourth horizon, has beautiful bright models, right? So this is a really good one for teaching purposes. Really bright, really obvious. So they are large and in charge and very bright. So if I had to put a percentage on this, maybe I'd move the percentage up to, let's go with 10%, 10% F3M, and come up with a color on these. So the color on these is so big I can hold this up really easy. Let's see. I think I'm pretty happy with 10YR 5.6. 10YR 5.6. Do I have any of the black stains? I do. I have one right there. They're not as prevalent, I'd say, as the orange ones. Well, maybe I say that and then I break that open. So I'm going to maybe say, I'm going to go with 5% of the FMM there. Now, it's a little tricky with the amount of carbonates in this. So are these pedogenic carbonates or are these pieces of rocks? Well, that one's a rock, I can tell you that. So I don't know from my samples here anymore, without being in the pit, that I can try to come up with any carbonate masses. I think that would be too difficult to say. So I'm probably going to dash out the concentrations box and not mark down any actual pedogenic carbonates. I'm not going to describe any redox in the fifth horizon because it's a CR and it's not a real soil horizon. So the next thing I want to do would be ped and void surface features. So this is my box that I'll use for clay film. So the first horizon doesn't really have any to speak of, so I'll dash that out. The second horizon, yeah, I would say it has some. They're not super obvious. They're really thin and patchy, so I might put down, I'm going to say 2% faint, patchy clay film, so I'll say CLF. And I had 10YR42 as my color, so I might say 10YR33 as my clay film color in that horizon. So they're not very distinct, but they're there for sure. This horizon, they're definitely better. So there's shiny, continuous, so there's a shininess to this pen and all of these features. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna ratchet that up to maybe 25%, and I think that they're still color wise, I still think they're probably faint, but I think they're continuous. So I'm gonna say 25% F for faint, C for continuous. I'm gonna say CLF. And I can do a color on this pretty easy because it's nice and thick. So let's see. I'm going to say, I'm still going to go 10YR33 on the clay film color there. 10YR33. 43 was the color. So yeah, I think faint is a good description for that. Now, does this horizon still have clay films in it? I am going to say no. And so because of that, the 4th and 5th horizons, I'm going to say no clay films. So I'm going to pick the camera up here and show you that the things that remain, I need to do texture. The boundaries in the field, I should have done those in the field. I think I'm going to probably go with, they were all smooth, so I'll put S's on everything, dash this bottom one out. And I would say the first one,